So it's Mike Jr-4tkp4 movie editing. We're going to edit the last recording record. Remember the days? Remember you can mention the old days. You know, Alexander Graham Bell, the phonograph. So I thought it'd be cool to put it on and go to the store. And then the kids at the bus stop, I had the window open, and they hear talking. Somebody was telling a story, a Bible story. I think it was Revelations 12, the apocalypse they call it. Some type of calendar book, right? I mean, the timing of the Bible, 666, right? Add them all together. 1998 BC to 1998 AD, the banishment of Satan. Biblical answer to the battle in your mind, owned by exlibris.com. They want me to buy the books and go out and speak and circuit, but nobody reads it. Do you? You do? Oh, right. We have the ebook, $3.99 hardback. And what it goes bad. Electronic book. What do you call it? As a tablet, it's a reader, right? Right? It's not just the book. $3.99 finesse. How much is a read? I don't even know. Well, you can go online. I mean, I put the same. I got the whole story. You know, Mike Jr., Angel Mike, the Banishment of Satan. It's a satellite thing, you know. I mean, stars are satellites, you know, and they're called angels, you know, and that they refract. I mean, you got it had a supernova or nova. I forget which. Did you do science? Because we were in the North Pole military, blood for a while. And so they call it a sphere. I mean, you know, is it a sphere or is it a globe? Which one is it? You know, we got the mountains and we got the valleys and all this different stuff. And I know you all hear in different decimal, which is what the system does in the film. They all hear in different decimal, different verse, different timings, you know. And so these stars emit this light back, and space creatures, Star Trek was cruising through the space, and the UFOs had come out, and they refract like a prism the light, and formed in the gate world where you know, and it formed a solid, you know. With a Star Trek in the center of it with Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi, if you call it Wi-Fi in your area, in your county, you know, and it puts itself in an orbit shape around. Actually, it was more like a figure eight of eclipse, right? And the sun formed, and the nine angels of heaven, planets. I mean, and all the stars in a different zone. The 12 New Jerusalem, Holy Jerusalem, right? You can't enter the kingdom until you did the commandments. You know, yes, yes, no, no, in your thoughts. So we heard a song before. I don't know if you stayed there and listened to the advertisement from the people. What were they selling? An album? I mean, you're going to do an advertisement that even sells something. I got the clock right. I mean, we can't do it. The Seiko mechanism, the Seiko, Tokyo bought 4. And going back, and that's a mechanism, that's that clock. Who first designed it? Oh, right, it was a, what do you call this? It was a sundial. Yeah, that's what it was, a sculpture. I was about 7 years old. I said that, you know, I went in my room. I took Bob and Ron, brought 2 brothers doing salesman, $400 a week. And that, you know, how can you get this to work? Why don't you just take this mechanism and just put this in here? I screwed the whole thing. I'm living up to a 7-year-old, you know. Can't do that. You gotta make your own mechanism. More like, when are you gonna do that for? Somebody has a patent on keeping time. And we said 6 hours light and darkness. So, you know, in the evening, you know, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then, you know, 3 hours in sunrise, 6 o'clock, and 3 hours, you know, to 9 o'clock, you know, light and darkness, and darkness to light. Pharaoh's rowing his boat down the beach, down the Nile River. Get to what? Let there be light. With the what do you call they say stars? Or yeah, probably their Marine Corps. You're not going, oh, yeah, you are. Probably not these days. Great impasse, right? What we're gonna do. So I would, you know, 2 hours to 12 hours. It is, it's 12 hours like 12. I'm not changing that. That's something different. Yeah, you said clip, cut, paste, switch this around, almost like you're a coma patient when the thing that happened first is last. The iron, I would think I had anti-pus cut, so I'm having problem, a lot of pain in my mind. And what happened was Sconian doctors got ticked off the way I was talking to God. They said to stop that from happening, and they a surgical saw, right? Spinal tap, the whole thing, and now we got a new problem. Plus, it looks like they're going for my body is for me. It's got to be in a natural state, a free state. But I see from him since I'm 5 years old. I'm saying, did I tell you? Did you read the book? No. You read that? I got hit in the head with a baseball bat. I was going up the wrong way. Satan was standing there talking to. I think I shouldn't mention names. It was a counselor. But we know what it was. I mean, back then, loads of sugar on the Kellogg's and the Apple Jacks. They want if you're going to go to production and they funded you can here a couple of cities. Here comes the sugar on the food. That now you need a dentist. For the enlisted guys taking children. And back in that day, in the Marine Corps and the Air Force decided to take the orphan children and put them to work. We all got contusion cancer working with electronics and setting up, it was VHF antennas on the home. And I was at the store. One of the men were from I forget what he said. They were broadcasting Captain Kangaroo, Felix the Cat, and we used to pick it up and watch it. But we had about 2 channels a long time ago. That city, that county, I didn't have any of that. No commercialization or nothing, but they got funded to take on the U.S. military at 14A6E2. It would be by news articles, and other means too, because it says right in the military, you can't tell me you have to take it away from you. You're gonna get a B. But in heaven, if you get the maps, MSA maps, you follow the privacy terms used. You got the Silverlight and all that stuff. You upgraded the system. You have. If you want more than Windows 7, you can do it. You have to do. You have to read all that if you have nothing to do in old age. I was saying, you got your voice of vision and dream. Here's the vision, here's the voice, and then you just dream about what I'm saying, like I was saying, what Alexander was Graham Bell. And so these 40 UFOs at 45 degrees, 2 in the light and 2 in the darkness, square boxes formed, and with the false, the masquerading angel, all like the moon, that changes, and all kinds of shapes, all kinds of things. And that's an old Latin understanding. Before Jesus Christ, when people used to sun worship, so they refract the four stars refract the light, and becomes a negate Earth, and all those things have to be checked by NASA. And then we're renting somebody's home. And all they get paid. And then what will we use in the Stardust machine for hallucination? There's a Star Trek bus underneath the sun. And an S curve. One button, like that. When you push the button, 1 second and 186 million miles, 93 million miles radius. And then a figure 8. So it cruises into a nebula, and it just puts itself in the Earth in the 3rd place, and orbits the plane. More like that, doing research. All kinds of creatures that take the form of the sun from each creation. So the sun busts out, 2 pieces of DNA come out, land on the Earth. It's the form of the sun. Nobody understands it. Don't sound right. Don't sound right. Well, that's the movie. You do the rest in your dream, if you want to. You also do another. What would you call it? I don't know what Hollywood. What do you call that movie maker would call it?